We're on a tectonic plate. We're very close to the San Andreas Fault. And as the plates, North Pacific, the sliding Pacific and North American tectonic plate push together, and one sit on top of the other and cause these huge mountains to come up. It's still a very active area in terms of earthquakes. So the winters here are becoming shorter because of climate change. And so what are the temperatures at here? What has it been recently? What has it been 30, 40 years ago? And what does it look like in the future? How does this area compare to the Southwest? For example, Phoenix, which is one of the hottest cities in the country. So here and in Western North America, the temperatures have gone up about 3 degrees Fahrenheit since 1896. Talking about the Southwest, the West, Southern California. On average in North America, the temperatures have gone up about 2.5, 2.8 degrees Fahrenheit in the last 100 years. Most of that since the 1970s because of global warming, because of increased carbon in the atmosphere that creates the greenhouse effect, the blanket that holds in hot air. And so it's heating rather quickly. Now, most of that heat in the planet and in the United States has occurred since the 1970s because the increase in carbon emissions and other fossil fuels has really spiked and begun to increase rapidly in those years, in the 1970s till today. We have 2.8, almost 3 degrees Fahrenheit above pre-industrial levels before we began to put large amounts of carbon into the atmosphere. That's a very big increase. And that's why we have droughts. That's why we have wildfires in North America and around the globe. That's why we have intense floods, sea level rise. The sea rises not only because of the runoff of fresh water from lakes, from frozen glaciers on the land, but also because the ocean expands as it warms. And the oceans are warming all around the world. The oceans are up about 8 or 10 inches in the last 150 years. And the prospects going up for the end of the century are scary. If we continue business as usual, which means the same amount of carbon into the atmosphere as we're putting in now around the globe, about 57 gigatons, 57 billion tons of carbon per year, which has been going up gradually and is now at that level, then the oceans could be, by the end of the century, perhaps instead of 8 inches, could be 2 feet, could be 3 feet, could be 6 feet. That's what the climate scientists are telling us. And that is a huge increase in coastal water levels. We'll have inundation, flooding of many coastal cities around the world. Florida, you can forget Miami, you can forget Tampa, and all the Gulf Coast will be flooded. They already begin to flood along the Mississippi Delta, Alabama, and also the mid-Atlantic states. New Jersey, Delaware, they're going to be flooded, quickly flooded. So